Welcome to another episode of the Mixtape Matinee Podcast. I'm your host, Cole.
And I'm Court.
And today we have on one of our good friends in the local music scene. We have Tommy Schwemmer on.
Howdy, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Tommy.
Sure thing.
Tommy, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm from the local Idaho Falls music scene. I play in a local band called The Fire Within. I play bass and just been a music lover for a long time.
Yeah, and I've talked to you multiple times about coming on, so I'm glad that we finally got to kind of work this out and have you come in.
Yeah, it's been
we're grateful to have you here, and we're grateful for you being in the music scene. And
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So tell me, when did you was bass your first instrument or?
Piano was. So I started playing piano when I was 8 years old. My mom always wanted us kids to do that, so I started playing piano at 8 and loathed it, as most kids do.
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah, and didn't really enjoy it. And then when I was around 10, 11 years old, I fell in love with the guitar and wanted to play it for a long time. And then we moved to Idaho Falls from Nebraska, and there was a guy in our church that taught guitar. And my mom said, "Are you still interested in playing guitar?" And I said, "Yeah, would be amazing." And so she said, "Well, learn 2 hymns well on the piano, and then I'll let you start playing guitar." And so I learned two hymns that I could play really well, and I still remember
Do you remember what the 2 hymns are?
There's Adamon Diamond, there's hymn number 49 in the hymnal, the LDS hymnal, and then 116. I don't remember what the name of it is. I remember the numbers though. But I got those down pretty well, and then I started playing guitar and just fell in love with it. And my brother and I shared a room, and I only had an acoustic guitar, and he hated it because I'd be up playing until 2:00 in the morning all the time. I fell in love with it, and that was what I did.
What was your first guitar?
It was an off-brand. It was called a Magnum. My dad bought it while he was in college, and he's one of those people that just can't throw stuff away. So, are you okay if I swear on this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. He can't throw shit away. So, it was just sitting in a closet for years, and then when I started playing, he let me use that. And, I fell in love with that instrument, and but then this is kind of a side quest. But my ex-wife made me get rid of all my instruments at one point because I loved music more than her, which wasn't the case at the time, but now it's definitely the case.
Yeah.
So that was when I actually sold that guitar.
Oh.
And it was so that still hurts, you know.
Yeah.
But you did have it for a while though.
Oh yeah, I had it so I started playing guitar when I was 15 and had it until I was about 30, so around 15 years. So played a lot on that.
So what was the jump from guitar to bass like? Like when did you do that?
In 2019, Miguel and I started The Fire Within, and he just did a post on Facebook that said that he was putting together an alt metal band and just needed a bassist and a drummer. And I was like, I'll fucking play bass, dude, because I had seen him play in bands before and just loved the way that he wrote music. And so I bought a couple basses and
so
started playing that.
Bass is pretty new then.
Yeah,
relative to the guitar playing. That's cool.
Yep. And when I first started playing bass, I played bass like a guitarist because I was a guitarist. But that has since I have developed and matured as a bassist, and that's been a real fun time. Last year I was in I think 4 bands at once. It was pretty crazy, but one of those bands was a cover band, and we did a lot of rock and pop and country, and so I was playing exclusively with the pick on the bass, and then There were some tones and techniques that just can't get with a pick on bass, and so I learned how to play fingerstyle, and that was a huge jump for me. It helped me a lot, and now I primarily play with just fingerstyle. But like we were talking the other day about Zap Pack stuff, and for a couple songs, throwing a pick in there.
Yeah, Tabitha has like a specific things that she wants. Yeah, but that's cool. As far as Fire Within, is that still like a band? Are you guys still writing?
Yeah, we're still doing stuff. Miguel, he's down in Salt Lake, and so that's it makes it a lot more difficult. And then we just lost our previous drummer a couple months ago after our last show.
So you got to find a new drummer. That's always a hard thing.
Yeah, it's a bugger. It would be nice to be able to play drums too, so we could have that, but
have that still going. So that's kind of like just kind of whenever he comes up, and then obviously when you guys get a drummer.
We do have a guy that I think is going to drum for us, but I haven't really followed up too well with that.
Well, we'll definitely link Fire Within in the episode so people can check that out.
Yeah, that'd be great
if they want. So, yeah. Well, we wanted to have you on, Tommy. And Tommy, do you want to tell the audience about the album that you decided to pick to talk about today?
Yes, I'm a big Stained fan. Stained. They're a metal band from, I think they're from Florida.
They're actually from Massachusetts.
At least it was on the east side.
Yeah, they did go down for this album. They did go down to write some stuff in Florida, okay. But yeah, they're originally from Massachusetts when I was researching it. So
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So I chose Dysfunction. I think it's their debut album.
It's their second album, actually.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. So I think the first album was Tormented.
Oh,
which we'll talk about that. Yeah. I have some stuff I want to talk about that later in the show, but yeah.
That would be great.
And this album came out in 1999. So I mean, this is kind of like, how old were you when this came out? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was 15, 16 years old, and this was.
So this is like a formative, like that's yes. at a formative age where you're like, this is what's cool. This is like mine almost.
It really influenced me a lot. Mm-hmm. My musical tastes hugely, because I had a fairly easy childhood, but I came from a divorced home, and my biological father and I had a strained relationship. I wanted him to put more effort in, and he didn't put effort in, and so we didn't have much. And this is such an emotional album, and it hit me in the heart really, really heavily. And there's so much torment in Aaron Lewis's vocals, and there's so much dissonance in the music, and the guitars are just so heavy in it, and I love just the whole album. But there are a few standout tracks for me in my life.
Yeah. This album was, I'd never listened to it before. So I told you before the other day, I was listening to it. I was like, this guy's voice sounds so familiar. And then I was looking at their other songs, and I realized, oh, it's the song It's Been a While. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh yeah, because that was on their a later album when they really got big. And I was like, oh yeah, that's why I know this guy's voice.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a really cool voice. And then he also, on this album, there's different parts where he does screaming and stuff, and that's cool. But yeah, I feel like his voice really shines through as like one of the best parts of the album.
Yes,
at least for me, what I thought of it. So
yeah, and that's one thing that I love about it. And we've also, so with Miguel and I working on The Fire Within, we do all of our own recording now, and we try to layer the vocals similar to how Stained does their vocals, just because we really like that sound.
You both he likes this too.
Yeah, he's a huge Stained fan.
That's cool. So you guys can definitely bond over that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we're very heavily influenced by Stained and Deftones.
Oh yeah. Did you like the new Deftones album?
Oh yeah, man. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from some of the fans.
White Pony, I think, is White Pony and Koi, whatever, are my two favorite albums. But I still think this is a good solid. It was a good solid release.
Yeah, so like I said, this was actually, I'm glad that you picked this album because I've never listened to it before. Like the only Stained I'd listened to is like those singles that you hear on the radio. Yep. So it was kind of fun kind of going through and then listening to each of the songs. It's interesting that you said kind of your experience growing up with the album because that's a reason why the album's called Dysfunction is because Aaron Lewis, a lot of these songs are about his childhood growing up in Vermont, and he grew up in a not so nice I guess he grew up in like a trailer park and just had he didn't really have a good childhood, I guess. And so a lot of these songs are just about his effed up childhood.
Yeah.
So that's why I find it interesting that you found that connection because that is why. Anyway, that's why it's called Dysfunction. So.
I have a question, but I don't know if you guys know the answer or not. So feel free to admit if you don't know, because I don't know. What is nu metal?
Yeah, do you want to take
it's
that,
spelled
Tommy?
different.
Yeah. So nu metal is
NU
metal.
Yeah.
Nu metal. It came out it started with essentially Korn in the early 90s.
Okay.
Because Korn's debut album, Korn, self-titled, it mixes genres a lot more. There's a lot more rap influence in there and hip hop.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. It's like metal and hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So this doesn't seem like nu metal.
It's kind of nu metal-y. Like it's not like. Anyway, it's
because
hard
when I looked it up, it said nu metal or alternative metal.
Yeah. Stained doesn't really have many hip hop influences, but they were pushed into that because they have a similar guitar tone and they don't really have guitar solos.
Yeah, the tones are kind of similar, with nu metal. And
I
then
can see that now.
Sometimes with the vocals, like you'll hear a lot of people make fun of like Creed or, like the
kind of Pearl Jam,
Pearl Jam type of vocals. That's another thing too, which this album is also considered post grunge, which I was like, oh, that makes sense because when I was listening to it, it did remind me like how he sings some of the lines reminded me of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
And it's like basically it's like grunge but like more metal. Yep. That's how I think. Like when I think of Stained, I think of like grunge metal.
Yeah.
Or metal grunge, however you want to. That's the best way that I could think of it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily nu metal, anyway. But this is all semantics. But anyway.
Agreed.
But they like Tommy said, they have to lump them in somehow.
Right.
They have to make it work.
Right.
And speaking of nu metal, this album was produced by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, which Limp Bizkit is kind of thrown into that type of genre. So when I was talking about the first album by Stained, so Fred Durst had heard about these guys, had heard about Stained's first album, and people were telling him, you need to sign these guys. You should see them. And he saw the cover of their first album, and he was immediately like, he did not like it at all because it was Barbie with like a crucifix and like fake blood and stuff, which is funny that the guy from Limp Bizkit would be offended at something like that. He was like, I don't know about this cover, man. But he ended up going and seeing these guys perform and it just blew him away. And Aaron Lewis's vocals were like a big thing.
Yep.
And so he basically offered them, hey, I'll produce your album. And at this time in '99, I mean, Limp Bizkit was already, they weren't as big as they are now, but they were big. So it was kind of huge for the band to have him be a producer on the album. So like I said, they flew down to Florida, I think where Fred lived or something, and they started working on writing songs and coming up with a concept of the album. And then later on, this album was later recorded in Seattle, which is interesting that I just said about the grunge kind of influence. Yeah. It was recorded in a Seattle studio.
So, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So I was surprised by what you just said because when I was researching it, the producer that I saw listed was Terry Date.
He also is a co-producer.
So it's a co-produced.
So there
project.
is
that's what I just looked up. I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. Yes, it was co-produced. But Terry Date, I think when I was researching it, like Fred Durst did do a lot of the preliminary things. He did a lot of the maybe like more of the business side type stuff, like
Okay.
kind of getting it together. But then Terry actually did do the actual like
Yeah.
what am I trying to say? Like the actual
Mixing.
engineering and mixing and all that. Like
And Terry Date is known for producing
He-
for
big acts,
Deftones,
yeah.
Pantera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big bands like
big
during this time. So anyway, that's kind of like a little bit of a backstory on the album when I was researching it because I didn't know anything about it. I was like, I got to look at this album. So it's kind of cool knowing all that stuff going into it, and then also it's kind of cool that on when this album was released on CD, there was a hidden track at the end, so Spleen, and then there's like 11 minutes of silence, and then you have this like acoustic song called Excess Baggage, which is kind of cool because like during that time I remember buying CDs that had hidden tracks on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I formed
was always fun.
when I formed my first band, For Your Health, we actually put a hidden track at the end of our CD as well.
Oh, I remember that.
We just let the silence go, and then you basically let it play through silence, and you let it play through, and then you put the song at the very end, like just to fill up all the entire CD, because the CD is made kind of like a record is made, has all the information on the actual physical part of the disc. So anyway, I like
Nice.
that. I like that when bands do hidden tracks. So it's kind of cool
Yeah.
that that was on here.
Excess Baggage. That was actually one of the tracks that I was going to talk about.
Oh
It's
yeah,
one of
let's
my-
talk
my
about what
highlights.
were your three favorites, Tommy?
My three
I'm
favorites.
sure it was hard since like this is such a personal album.
Yes, but Just Go is a big one. It's a very emotional song, and this was one of the first songs that I learned to play in drop D tuning. So because it's the whole album is in drop D, but I just really liked the guitar in it is fantastic, and then there's a nice breakdown in it, and just his haunting vocals are just so passionate, which I love that. Mud Shovel is a single that I loved and still do. It's just so damn good. And has some of the screaming that he does in there that's just hits your soul. And then Excess Baggage.
I'm eating life by what I hold inside. All the things that I live with, I can't easily hide. And I'm left here with nothing to live for but you.
Is the last one, and I like learned to play as well, and that has some unique chord voicings, and learning to play that I really enjoyed the song even more after I learned to play it and sing that. And I'm not very good at singing while I'm playing, but that one I practiced it enough that I could
That
do
you
it.
got it down.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was important enough for me to figure that out, and I love that. But it's just so simple, 4 chords, well, with alternates, some hammer-ons and stuff. But it's just so sweet and simple, but but painful and just heartbreaking. And that's for me. This whole album is just so emotional and beautiful because you can feel everything that he went through in his life, and it tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah, that's cool. What were your favorite three?
So we share in Mud Shovel, which I read the lyrics, and my kind of interpretation of it was it's addressed to someone who has kind of betrayed his trust and is an addict and a abuser, or maybe it's addiction itself even, is one perspective I kind of thought about. And it's also kind of about codependency, impulse toward revenge and things. This is the most popular song on the album, and also one that critics really highlight a lot. And yeah, that's...
It's interesting about Mud Shovel that the title of the track, it doesn't come in until near the end of the song when he's just doing Mud Shovel.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a quiet kind of, I don't know what you would call that, but just cupping the mic and
And
it's kind of interesting.
Not quite a guttural.
So
but,
what do you guys think the meaning of the title of the song, Mud Shovel? Why did he think to say that line? It's just kind of a unique thing to throw in there.
I don't know. I didn't look into it either, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
same.
I don't know if he's spoken
Everyone
on
else, you can
you
can decide what you think that means. I just thought it's an interesting line.
But to be honest, the first song that kind of stopped me in my tracks, because I was just listening, casually, and then all of a sudden this song played, and I was like, oh, wait, I need to listen. Mm-hmm. It is Me, and it's the one where he's talking about addiction, and he's basically feeling a lot of shame. He calls himself so pathetic and admits, I can't believe I'm just an addict. Save me from myself. It just something about it just hit me.
It's kind of a little self-deprecating a little bit too.
For sure.
A lot of the songs on this album are self-deprecating and not trying to be funny, a serious.
Yeah, well, it's playing
way.
into the stigma around addiction on himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. And it just stopped me in my tracks while I was listening to the album. So for my third one, I'm going to go with Home. It's kind of this confessional. I wrote down fear of abandonment on it. I'm a big lyric guy, so I try to pay attention to the lyrics. I'm not a huge metal or new metal or what's the grunge metal? Is that what you call it?
I said grunge
alternative metal.
Yeah.
I'm not this is I am barely dipping my toe into the waters with all this.
Well, that's good. That's why we had Tommy on to kind of force you to listen to this.
It was good. It was expanding my horizons. So I focus on the lyrics, and this one also I wrote down loneliness, guilt, fantasy of returning home. And yeah, I just remember liking it. So thank you for introducing me to this album.
Hell yeah.
My three favorite, little different. I really like the opener, Suffocate. I think that song is cool.
That was a runner-up for me.
Was it? Okay.
That was such a great opening song, I feel, for this album.
Yeah, I think the reason why I really like the riff during the chorus part, the chugginess of it. Dun, 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 dun. I just like that.
That's a good way of putting it.
It hits hard. I like that a lot. Yeah, the chugginess. That's what you hear that a lot in metal. But yeah, Suffocate, I really like that a lot. And then I feel like the lyrics really go well with the theme of the album, where he's feeling like he has no way out.
Claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic. It gives you those same feelings that he's feeling, probably like about his life and that he can't get out of whatever he's going through. And then me and Tommy, we shared one, Just Go. I mean, I would say probably Just Go is probably my favorite song on the album. I really like it a lot. The chorus on it is really catchy. The vocal melody of the chorus, and then the riffs are really hard. And as far as like the lyrical content of it, again, it's going through a lot of it's kind of sick. I feel so dirty. I'm kind of tragic, kind of insecure, but I know that I'm the only one that can fix whatever's wrong. I'm sure. So, like, again, he knows that he's got problems in his life, and anyway, he's kind of expressing that in the song. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, yeah, the vocal melody, da 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 da. It's kind of like, to me, it's like a wave almost. Like how he does how he's doing the vocal delivery and the vocal melody. It's like going up and down like a snake or like a wave. That's how I thought about it when I heard it, and it like either going side to side or up and down. It's kind of cool. Like the kind of the feeling that, I don't know if he was going for that. That's what I thought when I heard the song.
I really like the B section. I'm water while you drown. You're lifted while I'm down. Like it just I forget the other stanzas in there, but that song is just so damn good.
Yeah, and I think we've mentioned it before, but his vocals just make I think a lot of the songs. And then my third pick is A flat. There's like one specific part of the song that I really like. There's like this drum break that comes in like after the first verse, and for some reason that drum break is so satisfying because there's not a song on the album that does that, and it only happens once. And for some reason I like really hyper focused on that one a lot. And then I like on it like the da 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 da. That's just a catchy vocal melody as well.
Yeah, and it's
like
not one thing. One thing that I'm not good at with writing is melodies for lyrics. And
me too. I feel like I'm really bad at vocal melodies.
But with him and the way that he writes the songs and then delivers them, it's not boring.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the wave stuff from like Just Go, and that keeps it interesting. But what you're talking about with his delivery is just it's so great.
Da, 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 ba-na-na-na-na.
Yep. But
yeah, that drum break happens. Yeah, I think it's after the first verse. But
that
drum
is good.
That drum break was and it goes back into it. It's just cool because like I said, it's like a unique little snippet of the album. But yeah, those are my three.
Nice.
So really cool. I find it interesting too that this like the album itself, like there's not, for like a second album, a band puts something out and then they kind of have to follow it up. But with this, there's not that many songs on the album. I mean, it's a full-length album, but there's not that many songs on it. So I think that's kind of cool. Also, like, holding back a little bit.
It's
like,
not an EP, but it's also not 20 songs.
Yeah, like, they're like, okay, we need to pick the best songs that work with what what is the album trying to say? And I feel like they do that, especially with the lyrical content of each of the songs. So, yeah, those are my three. Any final thoughts on the album, guys?
Well, you are going to talk about the other album, and so maybe I should wait until then to kind of draw parallel comparisons. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll hold my thoughts on what I was going to say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard this album, go out and listen to it. You can pause this episode, then come back and listen to it as we discuss it if you want. But before we go into the next album, I just want to remind everybody to please, if you have time, just rate the podcast and also share it with a friend. Word of mouth is the biggest help to getting the podcast out to more people. And then also, if you want, go follow us on Instagram, Mixtape Matinee Pod. And we just post, who we have on. And then I post a lot of like the movies I'm watching and the albums on our stories. So go follow the Instagram page. But yeah, that will help us out if you just share it with a friend. So gotta plug it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it was my turn this week to pick the album to pair with. Actually, you know what? Before we go on, sorry, I know, false start. What's your guys' like when you heard the Strained album? What was your thought when you saw the album cover?
Oh.
I wanted to talk about the album
Let me
cover
remind
because
myself. Oh, it's a gesture.
it's like this guy dressed up as like a clown, but then they have him flipped to make it look like a card. Like a playing card.
So, I grew up in the '90s, and I took the bus to school, and we would bring CDs in our little binders.
Yeah, I
And
remember that. Yeah.
I had some friends on the bus that we would trade CDs,
Oh, that's awesome.
and so I didn't actually see the album cover until several years after listening to it.
Oh, okay.
Because like it was just the CD.
You just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I didn't actually see that album cover for a long time until way after I had already listened to it and fell in love with it.
Right.
So I didn't. So it wasn't much of an influence for me. So
Was it great? Did it freak? Like you were like, oh, that's what it was. Like, did you have it?
it kind of
It's
was
kind
like
of a surprise.
That
like,
doesn't match the music to me, but like I guess it could. But
Yeah. See, that's okay. I'm glad that you said that because I was like, to me, the album cover doesn't like. I feel like everything else about the album, there's a cohesiveness, but
Yeah.
I'm like, why did they pick this? I'm wondering if it's just a striking image because it's like, it is kind of new metal-y in the image because they would do that. They would dress up, and it was kind of like almost. Anyway,
Is
I just
that
thought
the
this was
lead
gonna-
singer?
I don't know who's on the cover, but I just thought the album cover.
And it's interesting. The
unique.
clown is kind of gesturing for you to come.
that's not Aaron Lewis.
That's not.
No.
Some
Interesting.
model they picked. Anyway, I just was curious what you guys thought about the album cover. So that's
I mean,
interesting.
I
that
can
you said
kind of
that.
see it with the self-deprecation a little bit.
I'm a clown type
Like,
thing.
yeah, but I agree. Stylistically, it feels off.
Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to share that one last thing about the album. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So the album I decided to pick is one of my favorites from last year. And I've been waiting. I was like, I know there's going to be an episode where we can talk about this album because I loved it when it came out. But it's Chat Pile's 2024 album, Cool World, that came out in October 11th, 2024. This is a sludge metal / noise rock band from Oklahoma City.
What is sludge metal?
Sludge metal is it's slower. Do you know who the Melvins are? They're kind of considered sludge metal. It's just kind of slower, but it's not doom either. It's weird to.
It's also a lot less refined than. So
Like it's less produced.
yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's the
so-
comparison I was going to say.
Yeah,
is
and
the other album feels very, very produced.
yeah, it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
well done.
This one feels like
Yeah.
it's sludgy.
yeah. So sludgy is kind of like
In a good way.
it has doom metal, but then also has like hardcore punk mixed in with it. So it's like
Oh,
metal.
really? Did you just see that?
Yeah, so it's like metal and punk kind of mixed.
Oh, definitely,
in
I
an
can see
interesting
that.
way. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, Chat Pile, they're just amazing. I'm wearing the Chat Pile shirt today. The shirt that says it was the worst thing I ever saw, and it's this woman that's on the interstate off the highway in Oklahoma. But these guys are just awesome. I saw them last year in Salt Lake City and just blew me away. And it was funny because I didn't know what these guys looked like. I had heard the music, but then when I saw them, it was just so funny. And then their stage presence is really funny, and they're just a hoot. But the music is really serious, though. That's what's kind of funny is they got a sense of humor, but the music is really dark and serious. Also, they have an amazing logo. Like the logo is so cool. They have them on. They have 2 albums out. There's a 3rd one coming out this Halloween, actually. It's kind of interesting. They did it's a collaborative album that they did with like this country instrumentalist kind of guy. kind of folk guy. So I'm kind of interested to see like what is that album going to sound like. Anyway, but they have 2 albums out, and I just love the images on both albums. Both images come from Oklahoma. The bass player Stin, he's the guy that does the visuals, and he's also the guy that produces the albums, mixes them, does
So
all
are
that
those
stuff.
pictures that he's taken?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the album, if you don't know of Cool World, it's in Oklahoma off the interstate. It's of a giant cross from a megachurch. And
Album cover.
And that's the album cover. So, and then their first album is of like a power plant or electrical plant. It's very industrial.
Cool.
And he just takes pictures around Oklahoma City. Court, if you grab that lyric sheet right there, you can. What's on the back of it? So like on the back of that lyric sheet, I have the record out, but there's another image on there that's just of like, it's just of like this truck with this. Is it a nail polish?
Myth in hair.
Yeah.
That
So
you know Peyton Carter, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me of his photography.
Oh, does
Very,
it?
yeah, very similar to his photography.
We're actually gonna have. I've been talking to Peyton. We're gonna have him on.
Oh, sick!
So, yeah.
He's that kid's fascinating, and he, like, I'm way into music, but he takes
He's-
it to the nth degree.
especially in metal stuff.
Yes.
He knows a lot of the sub metal genres. Anyway, so yeah, I picked Chat Pile's Cool World, and to me and to all those Chat Pile fans out there, I don't care. This one is better than the first one. I mean, the first one's really good, but this one's like I feel like even better, musically and lyrically, everything like that. So, but yeah, so these guys are just really interesting. They started out in Oklahoma. So the drummer and the bass player, they're brothers, Stin and Captain Ron. That's like their nicknames. All the band members have nicknames. Ray Gunn Bush, that's not actually his real name, but he's the vocalist. And then Luther Manhole, he's the guitar player. That's just and then Stin, and then Captain Ron. This album, as far as like the production stuff, it is a little different because on their first one, Stin did all the mixing. On this one, he actually let his buddy Ben Greenberg do the mixing on it, and he is in kind of this crazy, I don't know what you call it, like an industrial kind of noise band called Uniform. So if you guys haven't heard of Uniform, go check them out. They're interesting, industrial rock, noise rock kind of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of it. And then these guys just record in Stin's house. Like he has like this little studio that he does. Basically just does it to his laptop. I know that they record. I'm a super fan. So he recorded, and I know this is really technical, but how they recorded the album is they would record the bass and drum. No, they would record the bass and guitar through, they would mic the amps up and do all that. But the interesting thing is the drums are all electronic. So Captain Ron would play on an electronic kit, and they did that so they could have more control over, just different effects that you can put on the drums. And then when they play live, they have a real kit.
Okay.
But it's kind of interesting that it's an electronic drum set. And I guess if you listen to it, you can tell, but it gives the album a certain sound.
Yeah,
which is kinda cool.
I would not have. I wasn't listening that hard to it. It
And
was a
that's
little
how
bit more
good
casual.
they make those drum sounds.
That's
which
really impressive.
which is awesome. And also, it was out of necessity because I listened to an interview with Stin, and he had like a basic interface where he could only plug in so many, and so like couldn't do like a full drum kit, and so they were just like, let's just do like an electronic drum kit, and that's what they did on their first one, and that's what they did on this one. So.
When I've done several recordings, and when my wife and I were in a townhouse, my recording studio was on the second floor landing.
Oh yeah.
So it was like 4 feet by 4 feet, and we like shoved this electronic drum kit in there somehow in the hallway.
Yeah.
And had our drummer record in there. It was pretty.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was precarious.
Yeah, it's cool how you kind of have to be creative out of necessity when you don't have like certain things set up like that. Yeah, so another interesting thing too about the album is Luther, the guitar player, he plays glockenspiel on this album, which is kind of funny. And I don't know what song he plays that on, but kind of the whole concept of Cool World is it talks a lot about America and kind of how America is a little kind of volatile, and also talking about a decaying planet, like humans, we don't really take care of the earth like we should. It's also focused on disasters abroad and at home. And then this is also by the singer stating about the album. He says about that this album is about the price at which we eat sugar in America, referring to a Voltaire quote. And then the bass player, he also said that with this album, they were just trying to stretch their sound, kind of keep it uniform, but then also try to do something different with it. But yeah, lyrically, the album touches on poverty, war, American imperialism.
Yeah.
It's kind of serious stuff. And as far as like the images, like Stin, the bass player, has talked about a lot about how the images are just supposed to be, like America's supposed to be this great country, but like a lot of the images are just like really depressing, and it's kind of focusing on that type of stuff. And Cool World is a reference to a 90s cartoon film of the same name. It's that movie that Brad Pitt gets thrown into a cartoon world.
Oh, I haven't seen
I
that one.
don't even know
Anyway.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
look
crazy.
it up. Look
Brad
up Cool.
Pitt gets
Cool
thrown into a cartoon world.
Yeah, Cool World is it's basically like Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
But it's more mature. I
Interesting.
think it was made by Ralph Banksy. He's a cartoonist. Yeah, that's who made it. So that's what the album references into. I mean, and that's the cool thing about these guys, is they're huge movie nerds. Like when I saw this is a sidetrack, but when I saw them, and this is kind of a shtick they do when they perform live, like after each song, they take a break, and the singer will like reference a movie. Like when I saw him in Salt Lake, he only talked about movies that were filmed in Salt Lake.
Wow.
Like he's like an encyclopedia, and I follow him on Letterboxd, and you guys should also follow him on Letterboxd. I'll link his account in. He watches a lot of movies. But yeah, he was talking about how a lot of the Halloween movies were filmed in Salt Lake.
Oh, seriously?
So after each,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so after each song, he'd be like, "Okay, Halloween," and then he would like kind of give his like little synopsis, what he thought about the movie, good and bad. And then after the second song, he'd be like, "Hey, Halloween 2." And then it was just really funny. And then he would talk about Salt Lake, SLC Punk, that movie. He talked about that movie. And then and then when they Chat Pile, they went on a European tour, and they like drove an hour outside of like they drove a long way to go to where in GoldenEye, the James Bond movie, where he jumps off that dam. They went to that because they love that movie so much. Like they're just really crazy movie fans, and it would be cool. I don't know. It would be cool to have them, to interview them on the podcast.
That would be really neat.
They're just really cool. They're funny guys. They're so funny. And then Ray Gunn, he always plays. He takes his shirt off and doesn't wear shoes, and he just looks like just some dude. But he's like singing about all the like these dark stuff. And then Captain Ron, he always wears a hockey jersey that has the logo on it because he's a big hockey fan.
The logo of Chat Pile.
Yeah, and then
cool.
Stin like wears like these Nike Blazers and like just these really cool like they're like their image doesn't really match the music, and I love that. Another interesting thing about like Stin's bass playing specifically is so cool. He plays this interesting tuning. It's drop A, and then he tunes the next strings E, A, D. So it's like it's basically like standard tuning, but then he adds the fourth string as an A. So it's super low, and that's where he gets kind of that really low crunch stuff. He's one of his big influences. He's super influenced by Korn and nu metal. That's actually the reason why I picked this album to pair with yours, because
that makes a lot of sense.
It's adjacent to nu metal, and Chat Pile was really influenced by nu metal. Even though maybe they don't necessarily sound like it, but they're heavily influenced. Like, and Stin has specifically said, like, Korn is like one of his favorite bands, and like
That's so cool.
like how he gets his bass tone is based off of
Fieldy.
like off of Korn. And it's cool because they also have like minimum. They don't have like a ton of pedals. Like Stin uses one bass pedal, and then it's just his like, I think he has like a PV kind of setup, and then the guitar player, he's only really using distortion and then like a couple like reverb kind of pedals.
Yeah.
And I've watched the whole rig rundown. Do you ever watch that?
I love rig rundowns.
So they have a rig rundown on Chat Pile, and
Okay,
I watched it.
sick.
So really cool. Maybe I'll link that in the show notes as well. You
I'm
can
gonna go watch that afterwards.
You can go check it out. It's cool because they like very minimal. Yeah, just like baseline. Like this is what our tone is, and then it's, which is cool. I like that when bands kind of find their sound, and they have a like really cool sound. Okay, I'll stop talking. I'm like talking way too much about Chat Pile.
No, don't worry.
I'm just getting really excited. Okay, so I'll pick my favorite 3, and then you guys can also tell me what your favorite 3 were. It's really hard to pick, like I said, because I love every song on this album. I think it's one of my favorite albums of 2024. And unfortunately, when we did our top 10 list,
Right.
I hadn't totally like dived into it because this came out later in the year. But I definitely would have added this to my top 5. First one is Shame. Like that one is so good. It's so catchy. But lyrically it's talking like this song is specifically about the Gaza war, and like
brutal.
they've talked about that, and they also wrote it like not to be just about the Gaza war but also about any war. And one of the lines that's like crazy, I mean the chorus is, and the world was quaking open with all our fathers smiling, and the statue rose high above us, and God remained silent. But then the one phrase that's crazy is, in their parents' arms the kids were falling apart, broken tiny bodies holding tiny still hearts. And there's a myriad of ways to destroy human skin, red flesh exposed raw over and over again. So these lyrics of this album are
Jeez.
heavy.
It's brutal.
They're heavy. Yeah. And the music matches it. It's like this is a heavy song. But we were talking about vocal melodies in the Strained album. Like this one is really, it's crazy because it's so catchy, but the world, da, 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 like that vocal melody it gets stuck in my head. But yeah, this is a serious song. Really heavy.
This was one of mine as well. Shame was, but the vocal delivery for this song reminded me so much of Butthole Surfers, Pepper.
Oh, okay. I know that song.
So
yeah.
When the first time I heard it, I listened to it a couple times, but I was like, oh man, this really sounds like Butthole Surfers, that Pepper song. So
that's cool because that's the noise rock influence there. Yeah, and they're also kind of experimental too. So that's cool. I'm glad that you said that. And then my next one that I chose is Frownland. Like this one is like, I mean, lyrically, it's. I didn't really focus on the lyrics as much on this one, but like my favorite part is like that breakdown at the end. Anyway, it's
for the
like
listeners
so
who missed
heavy.
it.
Well, I'll put it in the show.
No, for the listeners who missed Cole, because we don't have a video, he was totally making a stink face of approval.
Dude, that breakdown of the end of the song is so good. And then just like yeah, the chorus, like, they don't want to hear what I have to say, and he's just screaming it. It's basically talking about, like, us as, like, most Americans, you know, there's the 1% that they control a lot of the stuff that happens in the country, right? And then this is a song that's very politically motivated, talking about the little guys, basically. They don't want to hear what I have to say about all this stuff that's going on, like, with war and stuff like that. But yeah, I love that song. I know it's like, it's lyrically and like what it's trying to say, it's really heavy, but then also like it's just good, like, heavy music, you know?
Man.
And that's what I love about this album is it covers both. It's covering like serious topics, but it's also like, it's so fun to listen to.
It's so funny because our songs are lining up because Frownland is my second.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Let's see if the last one matches up. But I ended up just doing the next song, Funny Man.
God damn it!
Is that the
Seriously, that was my next one.
I mean, when I think of the song, so like the chorus is outside there's no mercy, and not everyone can hide, not everyone gets to hide. Again, I feel like it's just talking about there's people that are in power and that hurt people through their actions, and it's all like people that don't have the power, I guess, like to change things, right? Like there's people in power that can change things, but they don't. Like they're okay with like people dying and death, and then greed and like all these kind of the evil that's in the world. And I feel like this album, like it's talking about the kind of evilness of America and also just human nature, and then it has that heaviness with the heavy music. So I don't know, and then I also think the song's funny that it ends with him just saying, "Funny man, funny man, funny man." Like he's just kind of repeating the name of the song. So yeah, it's just like, it's another heavy breakdown, and I think the reason why it's like so heavy and it works so well is the bass. The bass is like, I think, the favorite part of Chat Pile for me. But then also how the guitar, I believe the guitar is also tuned down to A. So both the guitar and the bass, like just both so heavy.
That is one thing that I noticed, is that it's just tuned so low. And it's just super chuggy.
And then just like that breakdown, there's a there's like that kind of pause in the breakdown. Mm-hmm. So those breakdowns are awesome. And then I love Ray Gunn's, a lot of times in metal, metal vocals kind of annoy me, but I love how he does this thing where it's almost like he's mixing like David Yao, like Jesus Lizard, like those vocals in with like metal. So like he's doing like that hard, like we were talking about before, like it's sludge is like mixing hardcore punk. Like it's that hardcore punk kind of vocals, and I just love his voice, and his scream is like so unique and it's cool, and I think that's a reason why I love all these songs. And it was so hard for me to like not pick like some of my other favorite songs. Like I love Tape, I love New World, and I love Mask. Like all of those are so good. Anyway, I'll let you guys talk about your favorites. But so Tommy, I had the same favorites as you. What other stuff do you want to talk about those songs?
So this is my first listen to Chat Pile, and this is so fantastic.
And you'd never heard of them?
No,
before,
I had
right?
not heard of them.
I'm so glad that I got to show you this band.
I am too,
because they're so cool. And also, I have to say, like, I'm wearing their shirt. Like, Chat Pile has the coolest merch ever. They have all that I've really seen is they have the coolest long sleeve shirts. It's like this big thing in like metal and hardcore right now. But they always are putting out like new merch. I'm like a huge fan. I'm like, dang, you guys are like, I gotta give you money, because they have the coolest artists. I don't know who they are, but They make these sick shirts. Anyway, sorry. I
You're
had to say
good.
that.
I just love how fangirly you are over it.
I
It's
am.
so fun.
I am. I love this album, and I'm glad that. I mean, like I said, it took me a while to like get into the album, but then once I did, I was like, "Dang, these guys!" And then when I saw them live, I was like, "It's over." I'm a lifelong fan.
Yeah, this album just it knocked my socks off. Just starting off, I mean, it was the first song. I Am Dog Now, like that silence for the first couple seconds, like threw me off because I was like,
Oh yeah, at the very beginning of the album.
like I don't know what it should be like hitting me, but then it gets right into the song, and I really from the beginning it.
And you
just
had no
hit me.
idea what it was going to sound like.
No,
huh?
I was like, this is Cole, so it could be fucking jazz, or my face could be melting. So, like, because there's this one show that we played that the Fire Within played with what
Blood Cannery.
yeah, Blood Cannery, and I was used to noise punk
Yeah.
from him playing. And they played fucking jazz. It was like five-piece jazz band. And I was like,
That was right around the time I put my Fusion album out.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta promote it. We gotta do a jazz set.
I was just like, what the hell is going on?
I definitely messed with. You're not the only person that said that, but I love messing with people.
It was fabulous. And
Yeah.
then we got out there and made people mush. So it was a lot
It
of
was
fun.
awesome. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm so glad that you said that. That means that I have a diverse sense of taste. So
Yeah, it's very true. So I really had no idea what to expect. So it was a lot of fun experiencing this album, and I really like the heaviness of it, the down tune, the sludginess, for lack of another term, and there's so much energy and emotion behind it. Like with the Stained album, there's just so much emotion and turmoil in this delivery, and it's so fantastic.
And another thing that is different is like Stained, he's very introspective, like going into himself. Whereas this one, it's like no, like very expressive. These are things that I'm not cool with, like with society, and
that's what.
And then I'm gonna yell it out. Whereas in like Stained, it's like kind of softer, but not softer vocals, but introspect. Like you can tell it's really personal.
Well, one is like more micro, like it's like me, my family.
Yeah,
and
but this is like
this
societal.
is like macro. This is like, and it I like both. Both have their place.
Which I have to say, like I'm not saying I feel like I'm most of the time I feel like I'm pretty patriotic about like America and everything, but I also realize like we do have problems, and I guess I really respect these guys for like saying some like unpopular stuff. I was like, most of the country wouldn't want to hear this stuff. So anyway, I just want to say like I'm not hating on America, but I think it's cool that they're expressing how they're expressing this stuff.
Sometimes the most patriotic thing you can do is criticize your country
to hopefully make it better. Yeah,
right.
Which is think that's what these guys also think, but I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for them, but anyway, I just wanted to say that too. But any other thoughts on the album? Did I just cover it all? I probably talked too much.
You put it all together very succinct. Well, maybe not succinctly, but very well.
Court, what were your 3 favorite songs from the album?
Okay.
And I know you're a big lyric guy, so I can't wait to see what you have to say about these lyrics.
So I listened to it before looking at the lyrics.
Yeah.
And let's just say when I looked at the lyrics, it like landed on me like a pile of bricks.
Yeah.
Like, because
you're like, oh, this is heavy, which it is.
Like
it's
a chat pile of bricks.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Which I think you had a question about why it's named Chat Pile. Was that one of the questions you wanted to ask?
No, but I'm curious.
It's named Chat Pile because in Oklahoma, chat is like a type of rock that they mine a lot, and so there's a lot of piles of chat that they have all over, and it's kind of this dystopian. It looks dystopian, like that's what the band has talked about, like all these chat mining fields in Oklahoma.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, I just think it's so cool that they come from like the middle of nowhere. They're in Oklahoma. Like, what other cool bands are from Oklahoma? Like, and they're like, they live there. They have a house there. Like, they're not moving to LA. Like, no, this is our home. Like, I think that's so cool because that to me like Oklahoma feels like Idaho. So I have like this big like it's very
Connection.
like connection. Like I'm like no like I want to. This is where I grew up. I want to keep making music here. Anyway, I just think that's so cool. I had to say that too.
Yeah.
Like
So the
shouts out to you guys, Chap Pile. I love you guys. I don't know if they're listening. But.
So the three most popular songs are "I Am Dog Now," "Mask," and "Shame," at least on Last FM. And I can see why. Like that makes sense to me. "I Am Dog Now" starts the album off. It's a cool way to start.
Yes.
And Cole already talked about "Shame." "Shame" is a hard listen once you know the lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, big anti-war song.
Yeah.
Which we need more of those
I agree.
out there. But
Yeah. But, and then I looked into reviews for the album as well. And the three songs that kept being highlighted by critics were, they did highlight "Shame," but they highlighted "Funny Man" repeatedly, like different critics across the different reviews I read, "Milk of Human Kindness," and "Tape." And it's funny because my number one song is not one of the most popular ones or one of the ones that the critics were talking about, actually.
Cool.
It is "The New World."
New World's great. That's a great song.
I enjoyed that one.
When I was listening to it, it was the first moment where, and it's kind of later in the album. Well,
Yeah, it's
at
later
least
in the
halfway
album.
through.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was the first moment where I was like, wait, what did he just say? I need to like go back and like look at the lyrics. Because these lyrics for me were just so interesting to me. So it starts out, "Must have been a dream I was having, must have been all inside of my head." And then it goes to the next part. "Every moment that we gave such meaning is all drawings on the sides of caves in chalk. I don't want to be a part of your nightmare. Listen, I don't want to be the reason you don't talk. The night falls whichever way it wants to. They came for them and then they made them walk. The skull speaks and its words are truthful. The skull speaks as the wind curves around the rock." And like when I heard that, I was just like, I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Do you have a guess? I kind of have a guess.
Well, now that I've read it
Yeah.
more, I think it's about state violence. Like, and it's interesting that the first time it says they came for them and then they made them walk, in the later
Yeah.
restatement of that phrase, it says they came for me and then they made me walk. And so I think it's talking about how like the violence ultimately is directed towards like you might think like, oh, they're just going after those people over there, but eventually
They'll come to you.
they'll come, if you're in any marginalized category, they'll come for you. So that's what my interpretation is.
I think you could interpret like that. I also thought, because the song's called New World, I thought maybe it could be talking about Christopher Columbus coming to America, because the album is very influenced by America. Like it could be
could
about
see
Christopher
that.
Columbus coming and like taking over the indigenous population.
Definitely. And it could also be a reference to Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I read that last year for the first time.
Oh, you did? Huh?
Crazy book.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to read it. I've never read it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
need to read it.
Read it.
Yeah.
It's good quality shit.
How does that relate to this song?
Just
Like, could you relate it?
an authoritarian state.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Violence against the people. That was like the lyrics that hit me.
The heavy thing about this
Yeah.
song too is like in the chorus it says to be lost, to be whole, to be bought, to be sold, to lose hope, to lose God, to find hate, to find law. And most are dragged kicking and screaming.
Yeah. It's brutal.
And like when he's like his delivery of it is like so like muscle drag. His scream is so like you can definitely feel like he definitely is really good at conveying like the meaning of this song and like what he wants to come across. Anyway, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, to be bought, to be sold. throughout this album, I was picking up on like the self as commodity. Like you have become something that is capital for someone else. And that was interesting to me. My next song is probably going to be shared with both of you, Funny Man.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Lyrics just are really cool. I mean, for me, this one was about like, I don't know. I have my own interpretation of it, and it might be totally off. But for me, it was like labor under capitalism, and like how you are being made to do certain things, like to survive in the system. And so in a sense you're complicit, but also you're a victim of it. Does that make sense?
Can I read a quote
Sure.
from the lyricist Ray Gunn? Ray Gunn talks about this specific song. He says that it's about being a servant, indentured or otherwise, and boils down to illusion versus reality in regards to America and war. And the title of the song is a reference to a 1980s horror film, British film called Funny Man, where this family, this demonic jester comes from hell and basically torments this one guy and kills everybody in his family.
That's
So again, there's like the movie
Oh yeah,
references
because there's
come in. So
wait, a wicked jester, you said?
yeah, like a
Because it
demonic
talks
kinda,
about that in the lyrics.
Yeah.
It says
He says, he uses the jester, I think, to like
applause.
to be like, hey, I'm talking about this movie.
another
Yeah.
parallel with the Dysfunction.
Oh yeah, the jester on the front.
On the front, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's another connection.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Maybe
And-
they saw the same movie. I don't know.
And then the third one for me, I think I'm gonna go with another one that's anti-war, Milk of Human Kindness.
That's a good one. Like I said, all the songs are good, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll read some of the lyrics. They said the word, and it was. We bought the truth just because. Told us to go, so we went. Out on a road rough and bent. Out to protect what we love. Their blood all over our gloves. I screamed about it all night. I screamed, I screamed. I see them everywhere now. Haunt my life. You're allowed. To me, it's totally about a soldier who thought that he was going to serve his country that he loves, ultimately to have the people who fell by his hand haunt him in the future. And it's just, yeah, it's another brutal one for me, but
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're gonna listen to this album, be sure
Be
to
prepared.
be prepared. It can be
Yeah.
emotional, like damn, this is dark, but it's
Yeah.
also it's so good though. At
Yeah.
the same time,
and
anyway,
it's necessary.
yeah, and it's hard to tackle like these big tough things,
Right.
but I feel like they do it really well, and the lyrics are just so good. They like definitely address all of that.
And one thing that I'll say is I think having their sound be less produced actually serves them and serves the rawness of
Yeah,
Yep.
the lyrics. And it's not that they're not like super talented like musicians. That's not what I'm saying when I say underproduced. I'm just saying like the other album's very polished, very like produced, and this one, it just is more rough around the edges.
yeah, and that's why I like it. It's like we're gonna make this album, we're gonna put this out.
Yeah.
Like they're on a label, like so they're not doing it all DIY, but like it's cool. Like we're gonna make the album that we want. We're not gonna make it to like sell millions of copies or whatever. We're making it because like this is like what we care about. So
I do.
like that.
I do think I want to address something that you said about it being a very hard listen and a heavy listen, and there's so much media that we consume that's easy to digest. They're like
Oh yeah.
pop music is easy to listen to. Comedy films are easy to watch. They're fun and lighthearted. but it's those the heavy hitting ones that tackle these difficult problems and issues that really are the ones that stick with us and make us reconsider what we're thinking and how we're living our lives and what is going on around us. And I think that's a necessary thing that we need to do is address these hard issues on occasion.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
And being able to make like a song that like condenses all of that you were just talking about into like a phrase or a chorus.
Yeah.
Like that's why I feel like Chappelle is really good at doing that. Like being able to have these things, especially like those parts where he's like just singing it like when we were talking about in the previous song that you were just not Milk of, but the about New World.
The New World.
Yeah, about like kicking and screaming. Like
Yeah.
when he's screaming about that, or or outside, there's no mercy.
Yeah.
In Funny Man, like just those phrases. That's why this album is also just so good.
That was a phrase that I was going to talk about. I read a review, and I agree with it, where they highlight that phrase, outside
There's no mercy. Yeah.
and say this is representative of the ethos of this album and kind of shows how, like, yes, it's very bleak. I feel like it's necessary to be bleak and show, like, is this the world you want?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also
You want a world where outside there's no mercy.
Yeah. Well, and then in like those lyrics specifically, he said, "Not everyone gets to hide." It's also like we as in America, we are privileged in a lot of ways. Where in like some countries they're not as privileged, but America is also like the cause of the reason why people are not safe outside. Like not everyone gets to hide. Like the countries that we attack and like innocent people that get like, especially like what's going on. I mean, like this album, like I feel like it's gonna age pretty well. I mean, especially with all the crap that's going on, like with the different wars that we have going on, and gun violence is a big thing. A lot of school shootings and other things like that. But
I want to say that I don't think this album is only talking about, and I don't think you're saying this.
Yeah.
I don't think this album is only talking about the foreign harms that are committed by the government.
Yeah, it could be.
I think
internal
it's also domestic harms, like when I hear that phrase, "Not everyone can hide." I think it can also apply to
Like
marginalized people,
middle
here.
and lower class
and
yeah.
people. Yeah.
And that's the great thing about when you write a song like that, you
Yeah.
can make it work to like whatever like you're thinking or going through at that moment.
Or like when I hear hide, my brain immediately thinks about like queer people. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not saying, I don't know what the intent was behind it, but like there's just a lot of people who hiding who they are is a part of their reality. But not everybody can. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
It's
good
brutal.
point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I keep saying it's brutal.
This is a brutal album.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to show you guys.
If you didn't read the lyrics though, and you didn't pay attention to the lyrics, and you just paid attention to the music, you would just think, "Oh, this is a great album musically." But then when you pay attention to that's why I said it like landed on me.
on that last, I'm glad that it did.
And I'm really glad that you guys brought up the lyrics because I'm still only on the listening to the
Casual
music.
listening, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back and
Sorry,
really,
I totally dropped
No,
the bomb on you
no,
because I've
you are
listened to this
good.
album a lot.
No,
so
this is fantastic.
Okay.
I love it.
It's a crash course in Cool World. Which, yeah, I think it's funny, a lot of the titles are kind of ironic in some ways, especially the name of the album. But, well, any other, so I know we talked a lot about the album, but any other final thoughts on Cool World?
I'm going to listen to this album a couple
Yeah.
more times and listen to the first
Yeah.
album too because
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't, listen to it. Be prepared. Just like, it's going to be heavy, but yeah, go out and do it because it's really good. I can't recommend it enough.
Why do you think they referenced that movie?
I think because the guy is he's in the real world and he's thrown into this make believe world and he has to get out. I feel like it has to do something with it being cartoony, like almost like some of this stuff seems like it shouldn't be real, but it is. Kind of like it's messing with your perception of reality and having to deal with reality. Like, no, like all this horrible stuff is happening.
And it goes from being live action to being animated.
Well, it's in the same. So he's a guy that gets thrown into a cartoon world, but he's still like human.
Like Space Jam.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like like Roger Rabbit, I
Rabbit.
said. Anyway, so I think it has to do something. That's my guess, but again, I don't know for sure. That's all speculation. But yeah, everyone go out, listen to this album. It's so good. And they are, like I said, Chat Pile is coming out with a new album this Halloween, and they're going to be going on tour. So if you can, go out and see them. They're really fun to see live. I can't recommend them enough. They're so fun. But thanks for being on the podcast, Tommy.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been great having a discussion and
yeah, it's so cool.
be passionate about stuff together.
Yeah, cool to see how different two things from different categories of metal, how different they can be.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
they're very different. I know you said,
but they're also similar. Like I said,
Right,
like they're
right.
both talking about like heavy things, but each coming from a different aspect.
Well, and you said that
But-
they're inspired by Korn.
And that's the main reason why I paired it is like that musical aspect. But
To me, they sound so different.
yeah, definitely. So you got anything you want to plug, Tommy?
Just support your local music, guys. Like, go out to shows, support, buy merch from people, listen to
Yes.
stream their stuff, buy their discs, their CDs if they put them out.
Heck yeah, especially here in Idaho. But
Yep.
we'll definitely we'll link up your band
The Fire Within.
with the Fire Within, and people go check that out.
Sweet.
Go follow Tommy. Do you have a Letterboxd account? I don't know if you're into
I
movies.
honestly don't know what Letterbox is, so
Okay,
no.
well, it's a movie account thing, so you don't have to worry about that. But we'll connect everything else so everybody can go check that out. But thanks again, Tommy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.